All right, welcome back. We are here in San Francisco at RSA Conference. I'm here with Chris Walcutt of DirectDefense. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Another RSA. I don't know if this is your first one.
No. Years.
Yes.
15, 20 years. Not every
I'm
year.
in the ballpark too.
Yeah.
I'm in the ballpark too. So yeah, it never fails to amaze me how many people come to this thing.
It's crazy.
So I know you're doing a talk tomorrow on
Yes.
third-party risk in OT. I think we need a sneak preview. Maybe we get some folks to drop in and see what you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. It stems from, I have a background in critical infrastructure, cybersecurity, and have been involved with SIP committees for years. So the SIP 13 Supply Chain Working Group, among others. And it's taken me down this path where I'm trying to educate people who have OT infrastructure, your critical infrastructure, your manufacturing, people that are dealing with physical security, building controls. A lot of them have third-party vendors. So they have remote access because of service contracts. Nobody can ever tell me the name of the air conditioning vendor that caused the target data breach, but that's how it happened. Anybody who doesn't know that. Understanding what you have, having control of their access, turning it off when it's not being used, having a platform like your SRA that can give you all the way down to recording everything they do and being able to play it back and understand that level of access control. Making sure that you've got procurement knowledge, that they're required to notify you of a vulnerability or breach, that there's some window for patch remediation. Making sure that you've got identity and access management. Big challenge in the OT space. A lot of SCADA systems are run with operator 1, operator 2, user 1, user 2. They don't follow the traditional IT models. That's a challenge. Patch and vulnerability management. You certainly don't want to scan the space. We do SCADA pen tests. You have to be very, very careful. Everyone who works on our team has been a system owner, operator, designer, PLC programmers. You really have to know what you're doing. And so when you look for partners, that's a really important part of that third-party risk. I jokingly chat about avoiding vendor-transmitted diseases. You don't want to be the cause of a breach because you let that vendor take you to lunch and then you let them in your environment. The next thing you know, you're infected.
Right.
So
you brought me to point about negotiating for certain things.
Sure.
Contracting. How much muscle does a company have to be able to kind of say, I want X, Y, Z?
I think they have more muscle than they give themselves credit for. So particularly in this day and age, you see all these the data processing, data privacy agreements for GDPR, Cal Privacy. I'm also our Chief Security Officer, so I'm the one reviewing those for ours, for our customers when they send them to us. Use that leverage, right? Have that conversation. I think everybody expects in this day and age that there's some liability tied to not disclosing a vulnerability you're aware of if you're a product vendor, hardware or software. Doing some due diligence and having products tested. Pen test the products. There's the IEC 62443 certification. UL 2941 is about to get ratified, similar space, right? These are all part of the due diligence of working in that space. One of the other things that we do is a lot of clients will try to implement a solution like Claroty, and they don't necessarily get everything they need because the network segmentation doesn't provide that visibility. So going down into the network, making or recommending segmentation changes. VLANs, re-IPing, moving devices. This is interesting space. You've got to be very careful. Firewall rules, but that's necessary to make the tool show its value. It really does have a lot of value if you can get the traffic to it. The other thing is there are not many organizations that will offer a full OT SCADA security operations capability. We're an OT SCADA SOC. All our full-time employees, nothing's outsourced. Everybody's U.S. citizens. Some of our clients require it. But being able to wrap that around, that's part of what makes it sticky. Right? Using that, a lot of times in an organization, they have an IT SOC. They may not have a OT background and experience to support that. So that's another one of those areas where if you don't have the experience to do that yourselves, consider finding a partner that can help you.
Right. Is remote access the real soft spot of the supply chain when it comes to security?
It's one of the biggest ones. It really is. There's a lot. We've gone into environments where a vendor had remote access and the client didn't know.
Right.
We've had clients, we've had vendors or clients where vendors installed their own and didn't say anything. And it's tunneling out and beaconing home,
right.
And they didn't have the visibility platform to be able to see and do something about it. So,
what are some of the challenges you're hearing in terms of third-party risk? Some of the clients that you have.
The patch and vulnerability management is a big one. The identity and access management piece. Some of that's cultural, right? They're accustomed to having this SCADA system always logged in. They don't want to lose data from a log out, log in. That's fine. Type 2 consoles, right? Log out of one, log in with the new user, do the same thing. That way you can show that this is who took this action. This is who actually caused this problem. Yeah. And then, just like I said, segmentation is always a challenge when they want to move towards a visibility platform, both for protective mechanisms, but also to send the traffic in a direction where it can be analyzed.
You must see some incredible complexity when you in some of these OT networks.
We do.
We do. How would you characterize it?
So a lot of organizations, it tends to be more complex in the manufacturing space, particularly if you've got, let's say, a 2 million square foot manufacturing facility with 8 or 10 product lines, or like we're working with a chemical manufacturer right now that they've got 1,000 products they make. Very, very complex down to the level of making sure that the PLCs are doing specific things. The other thing is non-IP-based protocols, right? So you might have a PLC at the forefront of that subnetwork, and everything behind it is serially direct connected. Some platforms in discovery can get down in there and see all those assets and pull them out, and some can't. If you can't see it, you don't know if you have vulnerabilities.
And I imagine all that's proprietary too.
It is. And so we also do some breach work in that space. Those get into a lot of fun.
Right. So let's just close it out with maybe giving like one or two pieces of advice that kind of lead on talking.
One of the big things is that OT and IT don't trust each other.
Yeah.
Find a way to bridge that gap. I implemented job shadowing back in the day when I was a big energy company, right? So we went and literally walked around with the OT staff and the IT staff did. Same thing. The OT staff spent time with the IT staff, understanding what it's like to get a call in the middle of the night that the network is slow and having no other information. Bridging that gap is one of the best ways to solve some of these problems, because it is that level of distrust is there. It doesn't need to be. IT's got some cool tools that OT might want to use. OT needs to explain the business function to IT and help them understand why downtime's not an option.
All right, Chris. Good luck with your talk tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Maybe some folks who are in San Francisco will drop in.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.